So, hi, Luminous Podcast. I'm Shane.
I'm Glory.
Happy Monday.
Happy goddamn Monday.
You're goddamn right, man. I'm
Bad case of the Mondays. I'm gonna beat you to it. Fuck today. Throw the whole week away. Let's get to the weekend. Let's get to the freakend.
the freakend. The freakend.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
seen that shit I've been posting. I love it. Oh, man.
I'm feeling similarly. That I can't wait for the weekend. Like I'm already like over the week, but I'm just tired from this past weekend. That like
Man, I'm just tired.
that Monday I'm struggling. But I'm thinking the rest of the week is gonna cruise right by. You know, I'm cautiously optimistic for this week. It's not a bad case of the Mondays. It's just a regular old case of the fact that I woke up this morning.
Ooh, getting heavy tonight on Good Noise Podcast. Holy shit!
Regular
like,
old case of the Mondays, you know.
God, I don't think that's a typical case of the Mondays, man. I woke up like Garfield today. You woke up like fucking dreading taking your first breath, dog. That's crazy.
Nah, man. It was, you know, I had a long playlist ahead of me. What can I say? You know,
it was 2 hours. I'm here if you need anything.
Yeah, dude, I'm good, dude. I'm good. You don't gotta worry about me. I'm good. Yeah, we got some shows to chat about. I was, like I said, busy weekend for me personally. I was running around like an animal at all these different shows. On Thursday, I saw Winona Fighter, Wifey, and Good Boy Daisy at Crossroads. And I was very excited for this show because, you know, we had chatted with Winona Fighter at the tail end of last year. It didn't come out until this year, but we had chatted at the tail end of last year about the record that came out, the top of this year. And that record was so solid, it blew me the hell away.
Great record.
And, you know, I saw the set list. I'm like, they're ripping the album in full. Not front to back. It flows a little bit more like a set list versus the album. But I was very excited to hear the record in full. Good Boy Daisy opened up the show. Oh, dude, so fucking good. I didn't know what to expect. I really kind of just went in blind knowing that I knew Winona Fighter and the band and the album that they were going to be playing in full. I went in blind on the openers, and Good Boy Daisy blew me the hell away. You know that I love the like alt pop kind of stuff with the synths and everything. Like I'm a sucker for that as much as I love my metalcore. I have a soft spot for dancey alt pop music, pop rock, you know, the vibes, and that scratched the itch in my brain. I have been listening to them since Thursday. They were pretty awesome. Wifey was all right. You know, definitely a massive sonic shift, a little bit more in line with like what you would expect from Winona Fighter going and like kind of bridging the gap between the two. You know, the front man was funny as hell, I'll be honest with you, cracking jokes in between the sets. Him and the bassist kept switching bass and guitar throughout the show, which is not something you see every day. They're like, yeah, we got tricks, and then they would hand the instruments off to each other. But yeah, they were all around solid. And then Winona Fighter, man, I didn't know what the hell to expect. You know, I follow the band on social media, but I haven't seen them yet, and holy hell, dude, what a fucking performance. You know, Coco is such a captivating front woman. She really commands the stage. Even when she's got an instrument in her hand, she's still commanding the stage, and then she takes it off, and it's just the stage at Crossroads is like this fucking big, I'll be honest with you, and she's running all over the goddamn place on this tiny little stage. It was wild, and you know, just what a show. It was so awesome to see the record played in full, and to finally get to see them, because, you know, Winona Fighter's been having a hell of a year, and I think it's only up from here. I'm so excited to see where this band's going to go from here, and I'm glad I got to see them in like a 300 cap room. You know, because I don't know if there's going to be many chances for that, but what a performance, man. It was so good. Highly recommend. The tour just kicked off. They're headlining for like the next month or so. The tour just kicked off, so peep the dates. Highly recommend. Fucking incredible. And then Friday night, I stumbled into the Asbury Park Brewery because I was in Asbury Park doing other things. And the Free Hugs tour was in town. Unfortunately, I didn't get to catch any of the other bands, but I got to catch Diva Bleach on Friday night, which was pretty dope. We've had them on the podcast before. I caught a majority of their set. I walked in, they were already playing, but I caught most of their set, and they were fucking awesome. There was a crowd there for them for sure. People singing the words, which was awesome to see.
That's dope.
I think they played either their entire record or most of their record in full, which again is so dope. That was like the theme of the weekend, was bands I was seeing playing the records in full.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for that shit. And yeah, overall they were fucking awesome. Super cool to finally get to see them, just kind of happening to stumble in, having my thing that I was in Asbury Park for ending early enough to make it to the end of the gig. And then Saturday I saw The Weeknd, Playboy Carti, and Mike Dean. And Glory thought it was the funniest fucking thing that I was seeing Playboy Carti.
Yeah, because his like shows are so fucking crazy. Plus, it's a genre that you don't listen to. I just like, because I already know your vibe at concerts is just standing at the back, and that is like the opposite of Playboy Carti shows. So I was just like, what the fuck are you doing there? It's
I was
like,
trying to figure the same thing out.
What the fuck is a penguin doing in Houston, Texas? It's like one of those things where it's like, go home, I'm glad you're. So how was your time there,
dude? It was an experience, that's for sure. Mike Dean, he's a frequent collaborator of The Weeknd, hence why he's opened the last couple of U.S. tours.
You mean Abel?
Yes, Abel.
Testify?
Sorry. He played his new record in full. And I like some electronic music. Daft Punk's one of my favorite music groups of all time. But I like my dance, electronic, whatever you want to call it, a little bit more dynamic, a little bit more moving. Mike Dean has a tendency to just kind of drone on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And then couple that with no lyrics, and it's just a recipe for disaster. So the music just kind of droned on for 30 minutes. I really didn't even realize that there were songs changing. I know that he played a bunch of songs because his album has 10 or 11 songs on it. There were parts that I definitely heard, aspects of like mainly The Weeknd's new record, like beats and things like that off of the album. I heard the influences for that on this record because, like I said, frequent collaborator, they work together all the time. Credited across the board on his music and all over this new record. So I definitely heard it, but I was kind of hoping for it to be over, which is exactly the same feeling I had last time, except this time was significantly less painful because there was an artist, a performing artist coming on after, and not another DJ, because last time it was two DJs because Doja Cat dropped off at the last minute.
I don't like to think about it. Okay, you just keep bringing it up.
Oh my god. And then Playboy Carti came out, and dude, the place erupted. I honestly, because
I know that shit's it.
My main complaint is that he led with all of the big songs, which I understand, like his biggest songs are features. He played Timeless, and then also came out when The Weeknd played Timeless and performed his part. But cute. Okay. I understand that his biggest songs are songs that he's featured on. But if you're going to perform those, I do still think that they should be towards the tail end of the set, and not like come out with a bang for sure. If he's got multiple big songs, come out with a bang, play a big one. It's like Limp Bizkit coming out and opening with Break Stuff. It's fucking badass. They also close with Break Stuff, which is badass. Say they
open and close. It's fucking awesome. It's like the Killers with Mr. Brightside. They open and close with. It's fucking awesome. Yeah.
Like you can totally do that, open with a big song, get the energy going right away. But he just kind of went from all this energy to playing some cuts off of his new record, which I'm sure people knew, but the energy of the place entirely shifted, and then his set time ended and he just walked off stage. There was no goodbye, there was no big erupt. There was no ending. Like all of a sudden,
there's no crescendo. It was just music ended. He's
yes,
gone.
all of a sudden his backdrop was off of the big ass screen that the Weeknd's got, and the house music came on, and he was walking off stage, and I'm like, I guess it's over.
Are we done?
Okay,
How long was this set?
30.
30?
Yeah,
Okay.
I guess it's over. So that was a little odd. But like I said, the people were into it, especially the girl sitting to me on my left. If for some reason you are watching the podcast, please send me the literal 700 videos you took of yourself singing the words during Playboy Cardi and The Weeknd, because I know that I wound up in more than half of your videos, and I would like to see my facial expressions as I try to figure out why you are carrying enough main character energy for our entire section.
That's fucking awesome. Shout out her.
Like,
shout out her.
I was joking on my way in. I'm like, I love going to these really big shows because I can never seem to quite understand why people will record themselves singing the words to the songs instead of recording the thing that they paid for that is in front of them singing the words. It feels very main character energy to me, and I really don't understand it. Like, the last thing I want to see on someone's Instagram story is them at a concert, but they're recording themselves. I'll be honest with you, it's like the last thing I want to see.
So that's your pet peeve.
That's possibly my pet peeve. And I was joking about it, and I was like, maybe it'll happen once or twice. Like, I'd love it if it happens during a couple of the big songs or whatever. Well, I manifested something I've never seen before, Glory.
Directly next to you.
Every fucking song, and she had her fucking flashlight on, the flash on, the entire time, dude. God damn. So I'm telling you, I don't know your name. I don't know anything about you. I know you smacked me with your tiny little coin purse 900 times throughout the night. But if you are watching this, you have to the email's everywhere. The email's in the box. I'll give you my personal phone number. Okay.
Please.
You have to send me all the videos you took, because I know I'm in them. I know I'm in them.
You mean our videos? The videos you took of us.
I know I'm in them, so you gotta send them to me. I've been scrolling on TikTok endlessly. I'm expecting my little face to show up on my TikTok For You page of some girl singing Timeless to her phone, and I'm in the background trying not to laugh. I'll be honest with you. I got 2 shows on Saturday Night Glory. Two shows. Two shows. I got the main show going on, and then the person next to me that thought that she was The Weeknd.
Which one was more entertaining?
Dude, it's a toss-up, honestly.
It isn't. You know it isn't. Shout out her.
Yeah, so shout out the main character energy. There were a couple other people around us doing the similar things, but not to the extreme of that. I've never seen anything like that, honestly, ever. And massive shout out to her for sure. But Playboy Cardi was all right. Like I said, it's not really my kind of music. It's and I feel like I kind of stuck out like a sore thumb as I'm attempting to fit in with everyone that is dancing around and bobbing around, and I'm just trying to figure out how the hell I wound up at a Playboy Cardi concert on a Saturday. But it was fun. Like I said, quickly over. But I wasn't like begging for him to get off stage.
He's entertaining.
Yeah, he was
he's a good performer. Yeah,
he was solid all around. And then The Weeknd, came out, played for 2 fucking hours.
Damn.
40-song set list. Just going the entire discography, played a good chunk of the new record. Heavily focused on the newest trilogy, the After Hours trilogy and all that, and all that, Dawn FM and the newest record. So played a good chunk of songs off of those albums, mainly focused on the newest record because he's toured the previous albums. Got some of the hits from Starboy because that record has had a massive resurgence. Had a couple of songs from Beauty Behind the Madness. Played a song off Kissland, and played some songs from the mixtapes as well, which
that's dope.
I definitely have a soft spot in my heart, and kept us at the show up until walked out as he was playing the last song because I wanted to get a head parked on the total opposite side of the stadium. You know, the tip just wanting to get out of there as quick as possible. But had me staying up until the last song because he was playing a couple of mixtape songs, and those songs, you know, are big for me. I was really into those, you know, growing up and when I was actively really listening to The Weeknd. So I'm like, God damn it, this guy's got me staying until the last moment. He can't.
I'm gonna be stuck in traffic because of you.
But yeah, it was great. So much going on that it was like to the point where I don't really know where to look. Like, he's over here, but there's production going on everywhere. There's lights everywhere. You know, he had a T stage, like where like
where it goes out like and then it's
no, it was like more so maybe a cross or a lowercase T, where he had the catwalk and then through the middle another catwalk. So you know,
gotcha.
And then he had a B stage all the way down at the end of the field. So he was taking up most of the football field. It was all production. During one of the songs, he lit off fireworks all around the top. You know, he had them on the top of the very top of the stadium, as well as the rows and the upper rows. You know, the upper section rows that didn't have anyone seated in them, obviously. So much fireworks went off. I wasn't expecting that. And just a shitload of production, like I said, to the point where you don't really know where to look because there's just so much to take in. But that's how I felt last time as well. It's only since leveled up. The stage has only gotten bigger. There's only more production. Now there's fireworks. There's all sorts of crazy shit now. But he's really, you know, he's on the top of the world. He broke a record at MetLife. I think he's got the most tickets sold at MetLife for a black male artist, is what the press release that came through said today.
Damn.
163,000 tickets sold.
Holy shit.
Govball was going on right over in New York City. He sold 40,000 more tickets than Govball did for the entire weekend.
Hell yeah. That's an incredible record. That's fucking awesome.
So that was fucking insane. So, you know, good for him. He's definitely at the top of his game. Super, super cool to see that. You know, and the tour's going on for a very long time. I honestly recommend it. It was a great time. You know, I had a fucking blast. It was more fun than the last time, and I had a good time seeing him the last time because it was like my first time seeing The Weeknd. I had liked this guy for so long. I finally got to see him, but this time was just a fucking blast, man. I also felt I also felt like he addressed the crowd a little bit more this time. It was still very like impersonal because it's fucking there's 60,000 people there. Like,
so many people.
It's not a punk show where they're addressing 300 people. Like, you know, Winona Fighter, it feels a little bit more personal. There were a couple hundred people in the room. Intimate. Yeah, you know, there's 60,000 people in the stadium. It feels a little bit more just, you know, it's rehearsed. But I did feel like he talked to the crowd a little bit more than the last time I saw him, which was cool. You know, as much as I love to hear the songs, I do think that there's a nice balance, and I think he struck it a little bit better this time.
That's good.
So all in all, it was great. Kind of for me, I got Youth Fountain Sad Park and Good Terms, and then after that, I think I might have a couple of stragglers that I'm maybes on for the rest of the month, but I don't have anything solid until July, which much appreciated after all the running around I've done over the past several weeks. Love shows, but I do like having a full wallet. And you got Warped Tour coming up.
I got Warped Tour, which is I'm seeing the main Heart Attack Man, the Wonder Years, fucking everyone under the sun basically is going to be at Warped Tour. So I will be seeing everyone ever, and I'm so very excited. It's gonna be so dope. I've like, you know, Warped Tour. We both grew up kind of like at the age where at least I couldn't go because I was too young, and then it ended. Exactly. So it's like it's iconic. Everyone fucking knows Warped Tour now. It's like, holy shit, I'm excited.
I'm excited to hear about your experience because
me too.
You know you're going to the first one back. You know, I'll never forget begging my mom to let me go to the 25th anniversary one because it was in Atlantic City, and you know she didn't let me go. but that's okay because it was kind of similar. It was a destination thing like what they're doing now. So many of those bands were touring, and one of them was on a touring festival that I wound up going to. So like I saw a bunch of the bands I would have seen anyway. But yeah, I'm curious to hear how it goes and
the inside
all that.
scoop.
The inside scoop from
I'll
someone that gets to go.
Yeah, no, I'll be documenting. Trust and believe. I'm very excited.
Hell yeah. I'm stoked to hear. But yeah, we've also got some records to chat about. Deluxe album, and then you know the drill. So many singles, your ears will fall off. Kicking it off, Cherie Amour dropped a new album, Chrome Hearts. The boys, the besties.
The boys are back in town. Hell yeah. It's so sweet to see them on the release playlist again, but not in a single way. It's fucking awesome. We have been following Cherie Amour since the very beginning, 2021. I think was our first interview.
Yeah,
I think
that
so.
tracks.
It's very cool seeing the evolution. It's very cool seeing them kind of mess around with different sounds, different flavors. And this record is fucking incredible. I am Cherie Amour's, I'd say top 5 fan. I don't want to take the number 1 spot, but I'm up there. Shout out Cherie Amour. I got them right there. So I think this record is crazy. It's definitely still in the same family as their last 2 releases. Still Internal Discussions still has a very special place in my heart. I still listen to all those songs on repeat. At least like that EP comes on once a week minimum because it's perfect. Like but I mean that shit. Like I think that EP is fucking incredible. They are so talented. So hearing this album and kind of going, okay, still really attached to the EP. I liked the album, the debut record. Let's see how the sophomore record is gonna go. Fully DIY, self-funded. This is their big thing. And holy shit, it did not disappoint. This record is so it's familiar, but it's still kind of like covering new ground. So it's easy for me to latch onto because it is very reminiscent, at least to me, to kind of like a leveled up version of Internal Discussions. And it makes it easy for me because sometimes with bands I'm very stubborn. If I really like one record and it's like been a couple releases since that one record, I'm like, it's just nothing like it, so I'm gonna keep listening to this first thing. But no, this one has some little pockets in there that make me go, okay, I can get attached to this shit. They open up with Beyblade, which is fucking incredible. Pretty sure that was a single that we listened to. Eons was also a single, so they do kind of have it a bit front-loaded, which is fine, but on third, fourth listen, I guess, for Eons, I think it's fucking crazy. I liked it before, but I did agree with you when you said it was very feature-heavy, where it kind of felt like a straight 50-50, when it was kind of their first release back after Spiritual Ascension, so it was kind of like, we were waiting for you guys. It's very feature heavy, which is fine because it sounds great, but it's like we wanted you guys.
It also didn't feel like fully fleshed out because it's like 2-ish minutes, and it felt like it could have went further as a single. But I agree with you now. I think I like it a lot more now that pull out the line already. In the context of the album, I like it a lot more. That's for sure.
Then they have Release Me, which is again another single.
That's a big one.
This was the one. I was gonna say this is the one where they had their big TikTok moment with, and it was so exciting to see because it is so well deserved. They work so hard, they grind, and they deserve their flowers. Great song. I think it's fucking incredible. I could see all of them doing the silly little dance every time like the chorus happens, so that just makes me smile a bit. I really liked High, 1-800-Paranoid, and then we get to my favorite, okay, Reefer Madness. Holy shit. It brings in obviously there are some rap influence on this record, some kind of what is it, electro, fuck, I always forget the name for the genre. I don't techno influences. I don't know. And I think that song captures both of those plus the mixture of rock beautifully. I fucking love that song a lot. And then rom-com type beat fucks as well. I think this record is incredible. Definitely feature heavy on the front end. It's front loaded, which is fine. Get the people in there. But once they're in there, you got them hooked. Great record. Big fan. I love you, Cherie Amour. You guys are doing great.
Yeah. Dude, This record is phenomenal. Like you said, it's absolutely a level up. I like that it gets a little bit heavier. The band has always kind of towed the line there a little bit, but they've lived a little bit more in like the poppier realm with previous releases. And this one they got a little bit heavier. They're using like the new metalcore kind of taglines in their TikToks as well. So they're agreeing with the fact that it's gone a little bit heavier, which I'm here for. I'm always here when bands get heavier. That's my shit, forever and always. I love the way it opens with Beyblade. I think it's a phenomenal opener. Eons, like I said briefly when Glory was chatting, it has definitely grown on me. I was disappointed as it being the lead single. Like I said, it was very short, very feature heavy, and it kind of felt like a part of it just got chopped off and they just like uploaded the wrong version or some shit is kind of what it felt like. Because it just kind of abruptly ended, relied so much on the feature, and I felt like Trey was really kind of just doing the chorus and that was it. And I wanted so much more, especially with it being the first proper release in a while. They had dropped that quick little EP off the back of the debut, Some Songs. There was a couple of new songs and some reimagines, but so the first proper release, knowing that we were probably going into a cycle of some sorts, was definitely disappointing, but has grown on me significantly. And like I said, in the context of the album, is a serious ass shaker. Release Me is the big song, and shit absolutely rocks. I'm here for it all the way. I dig High as well, but 1-800-Paranoid is another one of my favorites, tied probably with Release Me. I don't mean to say that I like the big song, but I like the big song.
Fucking fake fan.
I like the big song. I can't lie. But pleasantly surprised by Reefer Madness and rom-com type beat. All in all, phenomenal album. I always dig what Cherie Amour does, and this is no exception. That's for sure.
Damn straight. It's the boys.
Those are the goddamn boys. They're going on tour in the fall with As It Is and Bearings. I've already got that shit on my calendar. I can't lie. It's been way too long since I've seen Cherie Amour. I honestly think the last time was 2022 when they toured with Broadside. So it has been a long time, and I need to see Cherie Amour again.
You and me both, man.
Yeah.
Guys, just come to Virginia. You don't even have to play a show. Let's just hang out. What the hell? Hell yeah! Shout out Cherie Amour. Turnstile dropped their new album, Never Enough. Okay. I didn't hate it. I'm gonna say it. I didn't hate it. Is it a hardcore record? No. This is the same conversation that we had about fucking Sleep Token and their record, where it's like, is it a, what is it, metal record? Whatever the fuck, alternative. No, that was a pop record. Plain and simple. That was a pop record. This record, I think it has some hardcore influence, which is crazy because they are a hardcore band, but I don't think this is a hardcore record. I think it's very rock centric. It's fucking like indie, it's pop, it's a hybrid of a bunch of things, and I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that they do it very well. I think it is very eclectic, and I think it just sounds good. I mean, the singles that they dropped, I mean, Never Enough, Seeing Stars, Birds off of second, third, maybe fourth listen. I don't know. I gave it a couple because I want to like Turnstile. It's one of those bands where it's like I'm gonna keep poking at it and hoping it changes. It changed. I like Birds on the third, fourth, fifth listen. I don't know. I think it fucks. It's funny because the first half of the record definitely feels more indie to me. Almost it reminiscent of the Five Sauce record that they dropped, Five Sauce 5, where it's kind of like spacey, still some rock, remnants from Calm. I'm referencing 5 Seconds of Summer. But still just kind of like taking a step away from that, trying to like carve their own path, trying to do something else, do something different, which is fine, but it's not hardcore. Towards the end of the record, it definitely does get heavier. There's a hardcore song on there. It's definitely not as crazy as I had hoped it was gonna be, because again, I'm coming off of like a gang called Speed, you know, where it's like that is my full introduction to hardcore and sitting down and listening to a hardcore record and going, this fucks. So it's kind of like walking into this with the expectations of this is hardcore's biggest band right now. They're playing Coachella, they're playing Lollapalooza, they're fucking headlining all of these. They played fucking Camp Flogna on main stage, like 2 artists before Tyler the Creator. Like you are a very prominent big band. I'm walking into this like, okay, this is like real hardcore shit that I'm gonna listen to. And it wasn't.
Mhm.
That's fine. I think a lot of people are in denial about it, just like how they were in denial about Sleep Token. Guys, it's okay for your band to switch genres. It's okay for them to make a hybrid record. It's okay for them to have a record that has remnants of what they did on their last record, but not a complete copy. And that's me, who was just talking about when. Oh, I'm still attached to Internal Discussions by Cherie Amour, their fucking debut EP. Like, I think it's great. I think it's great to see a band this big and prominent still switching it up and still feeling creative and free enough and not scared to change their genre or do something super artistic. Not saying that they weren't artistic before, because there was like fucking alien sad song on their last record. You know what I'm talking about, right? Weird fucking song, not hardcore at all, but just weird as shit. Fox Live, weird as shit. But I think it's a good record, you know, just good. They weren't my favorite band, but I think my impression on them has changed. I think they're good now. I understand it. Um, that's my review.
Yeah, yeah. I think that this is the record that had to be made after the absolute crazy success off the back of the last record that no one really expected. You know, Glow On just took a life of its own, and it was already towing the line of experimenting with other things outside of the genre that they came from, which is hardcore. But they really had two options: either go all the way in and make a hardcore record and, you know, shoot for mass appeal that way, or just go all the way and get super experimental and take influences from all these other massive, you know, sounds and just go full-blown mass appeal. And that's what they did. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. You know, leading up with the singles, you know, I was joking, took 3 singles to find a single guitar riff that was like actually heavy. And it did take 3 singles. It did. But I think that the singles leaned a lot on that. This is the direction we're heading. We're heading mass appeal. We're heading and doing all of these other crazy things and kind of saying hardcore adjacent with a handful of songs, and living in the scene and, you know, helping to prosper the scene. But we're not a full blown just beat down hardcore band, you know, and the record showcases a lot more of the full picture, whereas I think the singles were really giving us one side, and it was the side that, you know, maybe you and I didn't want to see of the band necessarily, or at least so much of, because I don't think there's anything wrong. I also came away enjoying the record a lot more than I thought I was going to. But going into the album, I definitely was expecting basically like an atmospheric work of art that maybe has a handful of guitar riffs, because that's what the singles had me thinking, that they just went full-blown artsy and they're just like, fuck it, if people like it, they like it. If not, we'll just keep playing Glow On. You know, people like the last record, so we'll just keep playing that one if this doesn't work out. You know, I still don't like the way it opens with Never Enough. That shit sucks. It's atmospheric as fuck. It's the definition of what I thought this record was going to be, and it doesn't fucking go anywhere. It doesn't. Even and I'm glad they put it as an opener, because if they stuck it in the middle of the record, it would totally fuck the flow up. Which, by the way, I think the record flows really well, because I do think they have a really nice ebb and flow and weaving together of, you know, ensuring that there's still the harder songs on the record are woven throughout the album, so there's not just a clump of them somewhere in the middle of the record and then there's all these other different sounds all around it, that and then you're like, all right, here's the heavy moment, and then you're back to whatever the fuck they made for the rest of the album. it's woven together. So every few songs, you get some weird songs that go on way too fucking long, and then you'll get to a nice real sick riff, and then another fucking atmospheric weird thing and sick riff. So I appreciate the way that it's track listed and the way it flows, because it kept my attention for sure. Even though there were moments in the record where I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? It kept my attention. But yeah, I like I said, Never Enough as an opener. I don't like that song at all. Opener, single, fucking, you could play it live. Like, I don't care. Wherever you put this song, I don't think I'm gonna like it. It drones on, it doesn't go anywhere, and then has the audacity to have a 1.5-minute outro, which is just the real icing on the cake. But that is that's a trend for this record. There are a lot of very long outros on the songs, and there are some interlude-esque tracks. There are more interludes on this album than the track list would make you think, because so many of these songs have minute outros that just don't have to be there.
It's like the 1975 record from like 2022.
They don't build into anything. They just prolong a song that should have ended. So that's another gripe of mine. But I do like the heavier moments on the record. I also like some of the softer moments on the record. I love Soul and I Care. Those two songs back to back, I think fucking rock, as well as Dreaming. Like that three-song run right there really takes off the record there for a second. I like Look Out For Me until it goes on for way too fucking long, because it is a 6-minute song. But they decide at the 4-minute mark to just get really atmospheric and then have a 2-minute outro that I'm not a fan of. I like Seeing Stars, one of the more atmospheric songs, but I think that song is really dope, and it flows very nice into Birds, which I really dig. And then I like the last couple of songs on the record with Slow Dive, Time Is Happening, and Magic Man. I think it wraps up very nicely. But largely in part, this is, like I said, I thought the band was going to go full blown artsy and get really weird and kind of do whatever the fuck, because that's what the lead single had me thinking. I'll be honest with you, that's what the lead single had me thinking.
The bar was in hell.
The bar was literally in hell. This isn't a hardcore record, although I'm not going to harp on that because that's not what I was expecting at all. And if you were expecting that after hearing the singles and expecting to hear a hardcore record, we were not listening to the same singles. That's for goddamn sure. But I think the record's just fine. I don't hate it as much as I thought I was going to, and I could even see myself coming back to certain songs on this record, even more so than Glow On, because I really don't care for Glow On. I am not a fan of the album. I actually enjoy this record more in the direction that the band has headed with this album, and just kind of going all the way into experimentation and mass appeal and all of that, whereas Glow On was kind of towing the line and seeing if they could do it. I like this direction and that they just went full force with it. So I think that there are some songs on here that I could see myself coming back to, and I did wind up enjoying it more than I thought I was going to. But yeah, still not a hardcore record, like I said. Nope. But if you expected that, I don't know what to tell you.
You're wrong.
We weren't listening to the same songs. You were listening to the wrong band. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Stateside dropped their new album, Where You Found Me. We had Stateside on the podcast at the time of recording the live stream. It's not out, but when this review comes out, the interview will have come out 3 hours ago. So it's linked in the description. You should watch it. It was a great conversation. This record came out at the perfect time, man. I mean, it is a full blown, straight up pop punk banging record.
Sunny,
and even if what the record's talking about isn't always the sunniest, for me, pop punk is sunny, windows down, shorts weather kind of music. I'm not listening to it in January. That is Currents time. Currents, that is metalcore, but mainly Currents. Cane Hill,
Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, Devil Wears Prada, Cane Hill, all of those bands. I am listening to those in the wintertime, not Grayscale and Bearings and Stateside and bands like that. Currents, man.
You
Corn and
guys go. You
currents.
guys go in the cupboard
Yeah.
for that. Yeah.
So this really comes out at the perfect time because it's like, starting to get a little bit warmer out. This can go right into the rotation instead of waiting 6 months like the new Grayscale record had to wait for me to come back to. I love the way it opens with Heads Up Big Guy. Stay Sweet with the Joe from Knuckle Puck feature is a standout track for me. And
yeah, that was my favorite.
Yes, and I think that Stateside really fits. Like, I feel like pop punk is in two buckets, and they fit in the bucket with the bands of like the Neck Deeps and the Knuckle Pucks and that bucket of pop punk, and then there's the other.
No, I get
then
completely.
there's the other bucket of pop punk that's like your Young Cultures and your State Champs and your bands like
and
that.
Your Grayscales.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they fit in that. They fit in the first bucket I mentioned. So it was the perfect feature.
Like teen rager pop punk, and then like the Grayscale and like Young Cultures like teen party. I get what you're saying. I see the vision.
Yeah. But my favorite song is Like a Rosary because I think that song has the capability of becoming one of their like cult following big songs.
It has that vibe
because it's got the vibe, and I could literally see it in my head, a fucking sweaty ass room of kids in some dive bar or some shit, all finger pointing and yelling the words Like a Rosary back at the band. I see the vision every single time I listen to that song. I've listened to this record a handful of times in preparation for the interview, and then again to be able to review it. I saw it from the first time I heard that song, and record obviously just came out, but pop punk bands don't always have that moment right away. So I'm watching that song. I am watching that song 5 years from now. If it doesn't pop off right away, 5 years from now, I know I'm going to be at a show. They're going to be headlining, and everyone's going to be yelling those fucking words back at them. I see the vision. I see it. But I really like the first half of the record. That is nothing wrong with the second half of the album. I think that is very solid as well. But I think the first half of the album in general, up until Like a Rosary, is incredibly solid and very strong in all hits. And also a special shout out to California Calls You Home from the B-side, because that is the heaviest song on the record. And I like to shout out the heaviest song on the album.
Because you just have to.
Because I have to. It's in my DNA. But yeah, overall, this is an incredibly solid album.
I completely agree with fucking everything you just said. Like a Rosary is, I get the vibe. When you said that, it clicked, and I could see it too. I could hear it too. My personal favorite off the record is the end. The end's not near, it's here. That shit just hits it for me because it starts off nice and slow, it builds up, and also just the beginning riff to me kind of rings like the American football, modern baseball note for me, and it just makes me reminisce, even though I just got into modern baseball and American football, but it makes me reminisce, it makes makes me nostalgic for like 5 months ago. So great song. I fucking love that track. I agree with you. I think the first half is fucking gold. Not to say that the second half isn't, but it's just hit after hit after hit. It starts, it doesn't stop. It's fucking incredible. Stay Sweet featuring with the Knuckle Puck feature, I think is definitely a standout track. I mean, it has the most streams right now, so I think it's getting its flowers, but the song is fucking incredible. I think this album is kind of like the perfect example of, hey, this is pop punk, by the way. If you want to listen to like a true pop punk record, sunny, windows down, sitting in a park, doing something just in warm weather, this is the music you want to have on. It is just that happy sounding music. And it just, fuck, I just love music, dude. Like this type of shit reminds me of like, yeah, it's all worth it. It's all worth it when music like this comes out. Summer, seasonal depression's a bitch, Damn, it's all gonna be all right, man.
Shout out music, man.
Shout out music and shout out summer weather. Hell yeah, great record. Paleface Swiss dropped their deluxe album, Cursed, the complete edition. I'm very happy to see Paleface Swiss back because when they dropped Cursed, the incomplete version, I guess, it stood out immediately. The singles, locked me in. Surprisingly, unfortunately, I haven't revisited it. much since I
It's
like
that top, it's
post,
that top of the year drop, man. It's tough.
it just because so much shit's happening and then at the same time nothing's happening. So my brain is like, just go back to the shit you liked from last year. It just gets lost in the shuffle. So I like that they dropped it a couple months post release, which is it's doing its job. It's reminding me of the record. It's giving me enough new songs that are very reminiscent of why I liked the record so much, and it's giving it gave a unplugged version, which is always cool. I'm very happy that this deluxe version of the album is new songs and not remixes or all acoustics or just with a new feature, you know? Like they gave some new shit.
Mhm.
It's giving,
It's
you
giving.
know?
It's giving.
It's giving. I think it's fucked. I need to revisit this record. I need to add it to one of my lists so I kind of keep it in rotation because Paleface Swiss came out of nowhere for me with that rollout, and I'm so disappointed in myself that I let them kind of fall to the wayside. Because this band is incredible. If you haven't checked out Cursed, throw in the complete edition. Um, I think they're incredible, and I think this record is fucking crazy. My personal favorite off the record is Best Before Death. I also really liked Please End Me.
Mhm.
The unplugged version, it's fine. Not
Yeah.
mad at it,
Did
but
its
I
job.
think exactly. I think these tracks are great. They don't feel like B-sides. They feel like they could perfectly fit on the record. Um, I love it.
This is a pleasant surprise in the best way possible because, not only did they do the deluxe edition what we like to call the correct way. There is no correct way to release music. You can do whatever the fuck you want, but we like when the deluxe editions have new music, and they gave us a lot of new music, 4 new songs to be exact. Most of them were put out as singles because we had covered these songs, at least a couple of them. But I don't have any qualms about that because we still got 4 new songs to be attached to the album. And then secondly, I
Not mad at
remember
it.
you and I both feeling the same way when we reviewed the original record, that it was not long enough. It is not a gripe that we have often, that an album is not long enough. Typically it's, God damn, this album was too
Coulda trimmed
fucking
some
long.
fat.
Could have shaved an hour off of this hour and a half experience. But we were both feeling that the record was not long enough.
Clocked in at under 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Fucking in and out. Yeah.
Yes, in and out. So this adds on some serious runtime to the album with only one unplugged song, which is River of Sorrows, which is a pleasant surprise. I think it's a nice rendition of the song. And only one acoustic song is like a blessing, man, on a deluxe edition.
Unheard of.
Like, we could get 4 new songs, but then you'll get 10 acoustic songs, and it's like, do I even want to put on the deluxe edition at that point? Because the Spotify radio is not going to kick in. I'm going to have to manually turn it off. That's my personal gripe.
That's your okay.
Yes,
So we have 2 different.
I can't just hit skip on like one acoustic song if I don't want to listen to it, and then more music in the same vein as the album I was just listening to will play. No, I have to go in, turn it off, because there's 10 fucking acoustic songs that I would have to skip through. It's just easier to turn it off at that point. But that's a personal gripe of mine. Like I said, I think it like you said, it flows very nicely into the album. They all feel the same quality. Very much standout songs. I like I Am a Cursed One and The Gallow, so I'll take the 2 songs that you did not shout out. But I do think the Best Before Death and Please End Me are also solid. All 4 of these songs are great. They add on very nicely to the 9 songs that we got at the top of the year from the band. And I'm very much stoked on this. This is how you do a deluxe edition.
They did it right.
Hell yeah.
They did it right.
Oh,
Damn
yeah.
straight. Dodie dropped a new single. I'm fine! Exclamation mark. I've been getting
What a
into Dodie
throwback.
again.
What a throwback.
Dude, it popped up on the front of my Spotify. Spotify did its job, finally, and was like, hey, remember this artist that you really, really like? Yeah, she dropped. It kind of clickbaited me, and it said she dropped an album called I'm Fine, and I said, whoa, why the fuck did I not hear that Dodie had an album coming? I didn't see any of the singles. I click it, it's just a single. That's fine. I'm okay. I'm catching it at the front. We're jumping on early. We got it.
On the train.
As I said, been getting into Dodie again. Very nostalgic artist. I've been listening to her, probably longer than every other artist I've spoken about on this podcast. Clocking in at probably like, it's 2025, 9 years. Damn, 9 years. So she's been just a special artist for me. I think this track is good. I mean, it definitely hits the Dodie note. It's like, okay, I say a little, it's way softer than her typical stuff, or at least the stuff that I'm revisiting now, which is kind of like the Intertwined EP and then the Human album. Two of my favorite releases from her. It's her old stuff
Way,
from when I
way
was like
back.
fucking 5 years old. Um, so it's definitely a step into the way softer direction. I think it's still nice though. I think she has such a gorgeous voice, and I think this type of sound definitely gives you a chance to take in her vocals instead of focusing on the instrumentals. Granted, I love when she uses like big instrumentals and strings and horns. It's fine though. Maybe we'll get more of that. That's my review. I think it's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, this is never my cup of tea exactly, but I'm not, in the grand scheme of the softer shit that you put on the playlist, Dodie is never someone that I'm groaning, because I
Hmm.
do think that she she makes sure that the songs flow and actually go somewhere, which tends to be a gripe of mine with the slower stuff, is that the
Yeah.
songs sometimes feel like they stagnate. And Dodie, across the board of everything I've listened to for the most part, always feels like it's going somewhere, has the dynamics to keep the song moving, and this is no
Hmm.
exception. I honestly didn't even realize that it was a ultra soft slow song, because
So
she keeps things moving, and I'm here for it. Would I go out of my way to listen to it? Gonna be honest, no. If Gloria didn't put it on here, we wouldn't be talking about it.
we would not.
But I can't complain about this one. I think it's solid. And I'm excited to see whatever is going to come from Dodie, because, like I said, not something I would put on. But
Hmm.
of all of the softer things that you put on the
Hmm.
playlist, she's always one that I'm actually somewhat excited to listen to.
Hmm. Damn straight. That's just the Dodie effect,
That's
man.
the Dodie effect, man.
Shout out
Yeah.
Dodie. Yeah.
Shadow of Intent dropped their new single, Mechanical Chaos. Um,
Somehow softer than Dodie's track. You know, it was like soft
yeah, it was.
whispering,
It was.
to
I don't know.
like a baby's
I
lullaby.
don't know what that was about. They must have uploaded the wrong song.
Yeah.
Album comes
Jesus
out in a
Christ.
few weeks, and this was
Mm.
just balls to the wall insane.
Fucking, I don't understand a word they're saying. I think it's awesome. I think it's great. I love this shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very excited for this record, because I think it's just going to be absolutely nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Because each single just actually gets crazier. Like, they started out with the track that had the Corpse Grinder feature, the guy from Cannibal Corpse, and
Yeah.
somehow the songs have gotten heavier since then.
I don't understand it. I think it fucks though. Like it such a whiplash because it was literally Dodie and then this on the playlist. So imagine waking up and just hearing that first thing in the morning. Fucking crazy. Ah, God, I love music. Uh, not enough space dropped a new single, "Waiting for You." Not enough space is kind of fucking taking over. I don't know. I saw them. I went on TikTok. I go on TikTok like once a day to promote the interview, and I just could not get away from them. They were just plaguing, invading the timeline. Not mad at it because they're fucking awesome. I think this song is incredible. I think it's catchy. I think it's an ass shaker. Big fan. I like
Yeah.
this a lot.
Yeah,
Hmm.
this song is solid, but definitely a wild card, because the songs have been
Hmm.
crazy and insane and heavy, and this was like a pop punk
Heavy.
track.
Hmm.
So I definitely didn't expect this at all. I'm curious to see the response and what people are thinking about this song. I really
Hmm.
didn't spend a lot of time online this weekend, so I don't know what people are saying. I haven't got a chance to read the comments section when the TikToks come up. But it's it's definitely a wild card, because all of the songs thus far off of this upcoming album that they keep talking about but isn't announced yet, are on the heavier side, and this song is not, like I said, but it is still good. It is solid, and
It,
I'm excited for more.
I'm just very happy to say that they can pull off the heavy shit and pop punk. I
Mm-hmm.
think just seeing both ends of the spectrum, fucking awesome. But it was kind of whiplashish because I looked at them and I went, am I getting confused right now? Because I remember, yeah. So no, I get it. I get it.
Nothing beats the Devil Left Me on Red.
Dude, Broadside dropped their new song, Warning Signs. Fucking groovy ass shaker, fucking jam, good ass song. I think this song is great. I mean, I love Broadside. I saw them
Mm-hmm.
like 2 months ago. It was a while ago, but they were crazy, and they are one of my favorite bands. They're up there. They're up there. Always good to see them on the playlist. I think this song is great. I mean, I think Ollie's vocals just sound stronger on this track. I don't know. It feels like he's like leveling up even more, which is great. Um, it's fucking catchy as shit. I don't know. Broadside always has that groove, and it makes me very happy.
Yeah, the level up effect is something I'm feeling with these last couple of singles. This one and the last one, we're only at 2 singles. Because I always like what Broadside does. We've been covering them for a long time. Pretty much since the very beginning. So, been following along. I've always liked what they've done, like the last record especially. But I'm really digging the direction of these new singles. I think it's some of the best work that the band's done. The last single was on repeat for me for a minute, which is not something I typically do with a Broadside single. I will listen to it, be excited, and then wait for the album patiently. But that song in particular, the chorus was so catchy on it, and the trend continues with this song as well. I'm also digging the vibe. It's a little bit of a darker vibe. The band has always had a very bright, vibe to it, color wise, and
aesthetically,
aesthetic, and the aesthetic of this visually is darker, even if the songs are still the songs are still in the same vein as everything else, like obviously pop punk, but aesthetically it is darker, and I'm feeling it also in the music, even though the music is still the same genre. Not much has changed in that grand scheme of things, but everything else has.
Hell yeah.
I got there. I took a lot. I made a lot of left turns to get there, but I got there. I hit the destination.
That's all that matters, man. I see it. I see the vision.
Yep. Color darker. Songs still pop punk.
Bright.
Yes.
yes.
Split chain.
Oh, crazy bitch. Okay. Sorry, I had to get that out.
Yeah.
Fuck. Oh my god. Okay.
God damn. That was awesome. Split Chain dropped their new single, Who Am I? Album comes out in a month. I'm so excited. I feel like this record was announced forever ago, and it'll finally be here, which is very exciting. Song fucks, man.
No, I think this song's fucking catchy as shit. I love it. It's definitely hitting that vibe. I feel like there are like 2 new waves happening in kind of like the alternative scene, where it's kind of like the techno metalcore hybrid, and then there's also this kind where it's kind of like metalcore meets pop, and it's kind of like, it's not, what is it, the radio station
Octane
Core, not Octane Core, but it's kind of like teetering on the line of becoming Octane Core, where it's still like kick-ass, but it's not like, oh, this was made for the radio. It's not kicking ass, I think this song is incredible. I think it's fucking great. Sounds incredible. Sounds great.
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to use those again because that was fun. Charlotte Sands dropped her new song, Hush. Charlotte Sands.
Hello, welcome back.
How have you been? What have you been up to?
Good to see you again.
Making fucking music? Okay. What a fun little vibe from her. I don't know. This is giving kind of like metal, not metal, but like rock Charlie XCX. Again, I feel like there's a fucking wave happening where it's like the hyper pop boom in pop is not leeching because that makes it sound negative, but oozing. Oozing into kind of like the alternative scene, which is so infusing. Okay. Infusing into the metal kind of alternative rock scene. And it's so fun because I feel like the 2 genres definitely overlap sonically, energy-wise, but it's still such a big contrast because it's so, like, techno's so bright and metalcore rock is usually kind of on the darker, heavier side. Typically, that's the fucking thing. So I love seeing this combo. I think Charlotte Sands pulls it off. As with most fucking genres, I feel like she could do anything and it will sound incredible. I really liked this song a lot.
Yeah, I'm digging it. Like I said, it's been a minute since we've heard from Charlotte Sands, but I figured we'd be hearing from her as she'll be on the summer school tour. Very excited because I saw her when she got that last minute nod to open Sad Summerfest, right when everything kind of started popping off for her, and I haven't seen her since. So I'm very excited to see her again now that there's been so much success since then. Song absolutely rocks. Exactly what I expected from Charlotte Sands. She's someone that just consistently puts out bangers, can write a mean chorus as always, and I'm just stoked to see where this is going to go, and what this is leading up to, because like I said, it's definitely been a minute.
Missed you, Charlotte.
Hell yeah. Sky McKee dropped his new single, Worrying About You. Always a pleasure to see Sky on the playlist, still doing the damn thing. Song is awesome, man. Like, I don't know, Sky could write literally about anything. I don't even necessarily have to relate to it, because I don't really relate to what the song's about. He posts on TikTok, it's about having kids and things like that. I was
gonna say, I didn't even have to read that. I was listening to the song, I was like, this is about a child, isn't
I do
it?
not
That's
even
so cute.
remotely relate to it. But Sky and the way that he delivers his lyrics is still so gut-wrenching to me every single time. So yeah, man, managing to make me feel things. Sky is one of the few artists that is consistently able to do that with Super Whatever and with his solo music, and I love him for it. I'd be honest with you.
Man, I still listen to Holy Anxious. I'm not gonna lie. Like, that shit, when I'm down, I have a playlist. It's 2 songs. It's Moths in a Lampshade and it's Holy Anxious. When I'm sad, I literally just listen to that playlist. It is the most, like, I recommend it. I think this song is incredible. I mean, I was listening to it. I listened to it a couple of times, and before the fucking, like, we reached half in the middle of the song, Jesus fucking word scramble. I was like, oh, this is about a child. I do not have a child, but I was listening to it and I was like, damn, yeah, okay, that's cute. That's cute. Just kind of, watching the breath and, like, hey, you still breathing over there? That type of shit. That's nice. I'm very happy. It's nice seeing kind of like the evolution of Sky and what he's writing about and his growth as a writer, as an artist. That shit, because we've been following him and Super Whatever, since 5 years. 5 years.
Yeah.
So, big fan, as per usual.
Yeah.
Hot Mulligan dropped their new single, And a Big Load.
Hey man,
I think the song fucks.
The song fucks. They're expanding on the sound that they went with the last record, which I very much enjoyed. The song titles on this upcoming record that they announced coming out in August are absolutely insane, even crazier than the last album. But they are continuing that sonic trend, which I'm here for, because I really liked it. I liked what Hot Mulligan was doing as they were progressing and even growing and building on that the Midwest emo sound that they came up in. But once they made this shift to what they're doing now, that's when I'm really like, yeah, this band is fucking killing it. I'm really digging what they're doing. And I'm digging this song. I'll be honest with you. The growth of this band over the last few years has been insane, and I'm stoked to see where this record is going to take them, because I think it's going to be wild.
You think it's going to be another big record for them?
I think it's going to be a big load for sure.
A big, massive release for them. Hell yeah.
The biggest.
The starting line dropped their new single, Sense of Humor. Fox, I think this song is great. I mean, I feel like all the bands that should be releasing in summertime are releasing in summertime. This fits in one of those categories for me, where it's just like that happy-go-lucky sound, where it's just like I could put it on and go on a walk. I love it. Great track. I think it's so fun.
Hell yeah.
It's so strange calling songs like this fun, because I know they're probably talking about like the worst experience of their entire life, probably. And I'm like, no, I'd love to go to a walk to this. I think this is so cute. I love it. So it's like, sorry guys. Great music though. Sounds incredible. Yeah.
Starting line, good to hear from you. They announced a new record. It's their first new album in like 18 years or something like that. They've sporadically put on new tunes throughout those times, because they've been a semi-active band. I've seen them playing shows and whatnot. But first new album in like 18 years or something crazy like that. And The song rocks, man. I've heard the name, the starting line before. They're very much a prevalent band in the scene. But I haven't listened to a ton of their music, so this is me diving in with this album cycle, and I'm liking what I'm hearing so far. I'm excited for the first record, maybe not as much as a Starting Line fan that hasn't gotten a new Starting Line album in, again, 18 years, but I am excited nonetheless.
That's all that matters.
You goddamn right. The All American Rejects put out a new single, "Easy Come Easy Go." Another band that hasn't.
What? Easy
what?
Go? Ew.
Another band that hasn't put out music in God only knows how fucking long. We're getting a couple of singles from the All American Rejects, which is very exciting. I hope there's an album coming very soon. They're going on that massive Jonas Brothers tour, so I can only imagine.
They're awesome. They're so cool. I love this band so much.
This song rocks. This band, like, it has been a minute, and they're still writing hits like it's 2005.
Exactly. It's great. I mean, when I first got into All American Rejects, I think they took a break and then they came back with, I think it was like Spit or something. It was like a raunchy-esque song. It was like a sexy ass song. It wasn't rock at all. They were doing like some experimental stuff. It confused me. I was scared, and I went back to the stuff that I knew. I went back to the fucking Swing album and the fucking Move Along shit.
Shout out Move Along. Dirty Little Secret. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I didn't know what that was. Honestly, thinking about the song now kind of fucks. Like, it's playing in my head. I only listened to it like twice, and I can hum it. So I might be revisiting that. I think this song is great. Big fan of All American Rejects. I've been listening to them since forever. So it's great seeing them come out, and it is great seeing them like get their flowers again, because they definitely did not get their flowers before. They're the All American Rejects. They've always been relevant, but it's nice seeing them go on a Jonas Brothers tour. It's nice seeing them get like these super mainstream, in this era, mainstream flowers. I love them so much. Shout out.
Do wish though that Tyson's OnlyFans announcement was not the only thing on my Instagram timeline for 2 days.
Full frontal rock star shit, dog.
I unfortunately know everything about the OnlyFans because, again, only thing much on my Instagram timeline for 2 days. I follow the All American Rejects and maybe one or two publications that would cover something of that size. And it
basically seen the whole thing.
And it was fucking everywhere. Every time I went on Instagram, there was a new publication posting about it that they were collabing with. And I'm like, stop.
We joined an interview and they were talking about it. Like we were about to start an interview, and I was like, "No, I heard about that shit too. Full frontal rock star shit, right?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Fucking escape it.
It's like it's everywhere. I mean, you got to give it to them. The advertising's crazy.
The advertising is crazy.
Crazy. Biggest OnlyFans launch I've seen in a minute, dog. Since like Markiplier, you know? Crazy work. All right. President dropped his new track, Fearless. Allegedly, this is the guy from fucking Busted.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing.
So that lasted a good month of people being like, "Who is that?"
It was like within the first song came out, and people were like, "This is the guy from Busted."
That's the guy from Busted.
Yeah,
Busted. Busted. Oh. I think this song is fine. I mean, the last song was heavier. This song is more on the poppy side now. I think it's fine. To me, it's like nothing new, nothing crazy. I mean, I guess it's the masked thing that's happening, the mystery of, is it actually the guy from Busted? I don't know. I think it's good. Yeah. Not mad at it, but it's not something I would revisit, I don't think, because it doesn't have that oomph for me. I'm pretty sure it has the oomph for a lot of people, because a lot of people fucking love President now. But yeah, that's just me.
Yeah, I think this song sucks significantly less than the last song.
The first song was ass.
the first song had some lyrical moments, not lyrical, vocal moments that were so abysmal. Like, the thing driving the song was absolutely the soaring guitars and the rockin' drums and the rockin' bass and the breakdown and all that. But there was nothing saving the fact that the vocal effects on the vocals were so abysmal at certain points that it made it goddamn near unlistenable for about half the song. Listen, teach their own. I know a lot of people like that song. Me personally, I do not know if we heard the same song. I'll be honest with you. This song, though, seems like they got rid of whatever fucking vocal effects they had on that last song. They left those behind. They either forgot to put them on, or that was very much intentional. They forgot to turn them off on the last song. And this one sucks a lot less. I actually like this. I see the hype for the band. I understand the mask thing is very big right now. You know, people like the idea of not knowing who the artists are, and it's cool. You know, although this guy got busted in a song, quite literally and figuratively, although it's not obviously confirmed, the illusion of the mystery and the fact that there are some artists that have been able to maintain that mystery, like the Sleep Token guys, their names are floating around out there, but you definitely gotta dig for it pretty hard to find them. You know, because people are like, don't fucking post that shit, and will like go after people that do, and you know, trying to maintain that sense of mystery. I still don't even know who the fuck's behind the mask. I don't really care. But the fact that bands are able to do that in any sort of capacity in this day and age is super cool. That was like the real big reason for like why Slipknot got so big, is there wasn't the internet was not what the internet is now. You couldn't just figure out that Corey Taylor was the man behind the mask until way later. So it is cool to see bands still attempting the mask thing and trying to have fun with it and maintain as much mystery as possible, because it is so hard in the digital age where, you know, someone will just like run the mask through AI and boom, all of a sudden, you know, it's the guy from Busted. That probably didn't happen. I think it's the vocals is giving it away. But like, you know, we're gonna get to that point where you just run the fucking Sleep Token mask through AI and it just pop the name out at you, and all of a sudden Vessel's name will just be right there in front of your very eyes in 3 nanoseconds. Again, I physically could not give a fuck who's behind the mask.
I mean, the world will still be spinning. You know, like I
really don't care what's going on with Sleep Token at all. Signs of the Swarm and Will Ramos from Lorna Shore dropped a new single, Clouded Retinas, and this song is as bonkers as I thought it was going to be.
I don't understand a goddamn word that was said on this song. I think it was crazy though. Balls to the wall, fucking ass kicker. No ass was shaken, but it was kicked.
It was definitely
great.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Shout out. Creeper dropped their new single, Headstones. This sounds like Ghost. Maybe it's because Ghost is so fresh on my mind.
And
but they're very... No, I think it's great. We liked the Ghost record. I liked the Ghost record. Yeah. So I think this is great. You got me in that headspace, Ghost, and now I'm here for Creeper, and I'm like, oh shit, this fucks. Big fan.
Yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan of Creeper. Getting to see them live really sold it for me. I've always kind of liked what they were doing, but getting to see them live and hear these songs live was super cool. And I'm digging this song for sure. You know, they fit in that same vibe, although I feel like their songs have always kind of in that like Ghost-esque vibe, that kind of subgenre of rock. But I've always felt that their songs have kind of went a little bit more of somewhere. That's the problem with Ghost. They kind of just fuck off. They kind of forget they're making music in the middle of it, it feels like. And Creeper doesn't seem to forget that, which I appreciate. So I like this song. I'm stoked for more.
Damn sure.
Those are all the topics we have today. You can follow us on Instagram, is Good Noise Podcast. Facebook is Good Noise Pod. TikTok is Good Noise Podcast. YouTube is Good Noise Podcast. All the audio streaming services are Good Noise Podcast, and Patreon is patreon.com/Good Noise Podcast. Go get your Patreon supporters, Twitch subs, your important plugs, your merch store plug, and your Amazon storefront plug, and then we're going to sign off.
Check out our merch. It is goodnoisepodcast.creator-spring.com. No hats, hoodies, shirts.
Still no hats,
no pants.
No socks. No, we have hats. We have hats with the logo on it. No socks.
No socks. Fuck, dude. We need socks.
We need socks. Desperately.
We need socks, dude.
We need socks. We need socks. Yeah. I'll order a pair for every day of the week, and I'll just wear.
You and me, but GNP socks.
GN socks.
GN's. Maybe no socks. It doesn't flow. You want to know what socks I'm wearing today? I'm wearing Mountain Dew and hot sauce. Tapatio.
I love your sock collection.
Isn't it crazy? I love it. It's awesome. Check out our Amazon storefront. It has everything you need to start a podcast, everything we use. Thank you to our Patreon supporters, Matt from Pulses, Pop Punk Apologist, David Arrington, Tyson from Heal and the Hurt, and Eric. back. And thank you to our Twitch sub, Matt, again for pulses. Thank you guys.
Thank you, everybody. Much appreciated.
Thank you. Important plugs. Black Lives Matter. Stop Asian hate. Free Palestine. Fuck ICE. Be a decent person. Go to your local shows and show support. And yeah. Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, that's all the topics we have today. I have been Shane.
I have been Gloria.
And we've been the Good Podcast. See you next week. Bye.
Bye.